The sun had started to dip. Some
Music
people
then.
had left and others were packing to leave when the scream cut across the beach. Looking back at it, I realized that, for instance, the calypso writers of Antigua, especially writers like Shelley Tobit, King Obstinate, Short Shirt,
Music
I
then.
realized that what they brought to the art form of calypso helped to shape how I approach my writing, in that they're telling the stories of the people. It jarred Nikki from her slumber. She opened her eyes to see Carleen running up from the sea, Imani in her arms.
Music
What
then.
calypso, and I would say Jumbi stories and Nancy stories and Paul Keen's Douglas stories on the radio did for me was to show me that our stories and our way of storytelling is its own unique, interesting, relatable thing, in that we're telling the stories of the people, we're using the
Music
language of
then.
the people. Oh God, a drone, he drowned, someone exclaimed. We're giving insights to the people and we're being true to the point of view of the people. All that is what I try to capture in my writing. I am Joanne C. Hillhouse, the 2023
Music.
Arts and Letters Laureate.
Joanne was always to herself in a lot of ways. I think growing up we thought she was going to be a teacher. She always used to beat the chairs and talk to the chairs. So we thought that that's what, that's the path she was going down.
So this is Miss Joanne Hillhouse. Can you say good morning to Miss Hillhouse?
Good
And
morning.
she is a local author. Do you know what local means? She is from Antigua, yes.
And then you realize as she got older, the storytelling part of her started to come to life.
When he goes swimming with his friends, he falls behind thanks to his daydreaming. Any of you daydreamers? Yes, I used to be too. I still remain an introvert. I am not the most outgoing person, and I think maybe if I was, maybe if like being out and the energy of other people didn't drain me, maybe I wouldn't be a writer, because I pour so much of it into my writing. But I'm also a huge observer of other people and a huge daydreamer, and I've always been. Dolphin flaps his flippers. Flap your flippers, let me see. Flap your flippers. I think I started thinking of myself as a writer, I would say around my late teens. I've always been imagining and writing and loved reading, but I don't think I thought it could be a real profession. And when I did that first fiction writing workshop at the University of Miami, right after the summer after I finished UWI, I was still at that point thinking that, okay, I'm gonna have to be a journalist. That's the only practical thing. And I came back to Antigua and I was a journalist, but I kept writing and I kept writing and I kept writing.
She's given Antigua and Barbuda, and by extension the rest of the Caribbean, 8 Caribbean stories, reminding people out there that we as Caribbean people are not just consumers of literature, but we can produce it ourselves. Generally speaking, you'll find that writers tend to stick with something, at least for a while. So someone will be a children's writer, and maybe somewhere down the road in their career, you hear they have the great novel that they're waiting to publish. And quite often that isn't always as successful as the area that they have initially started with. So for Joanne's work to have sort of gone the entire range so far, and we expect more to come, yes, it is significant, and it makes it more special in some ways.
I think my family has worried about me over the years because of the uncertainty of what I do, but they've never discouraged me. My brother, my father especially, my mother was the person who would have bought my first 2 typewriters. Hi, what's up?
I am okay.
The weather killing me.
The weather is the weather, man, so the weather will be good.
And we have to understand, we come from a working class background. Our parents had to work hard to give us the basics. And so for them not to panic about oh God, she's going to end up broken on the street. Which maybe they did. You can ask my sister when you talk to her, maybe they did panic, but I think they have supported.
Well, every now and again, Joanne will come into the bookstore. I would say she'll come to hang out. And I mean, I've had some fun, where somebody walks in and perhaps they're just asking about local authors and she happens to be there and we can say, well, this is Joanne Hillhouse. And yes, they're amazed sometimes because they're walking in and meeting an author. And I guess that's some of our small islandness, but it's what people look forward to as well.
I write everywhere. I have written, the weirdest one for me is I remember being at the St. Lucia Jazz Festival, India Ari or Lauryn Hill or Smokey Robinson on the stage, and because I'm so inspired by other arts and other music and everything, I just found myself, and I always have a book with me, so I just started writing right there, and it was such a, I guess, artistic environment that nobody kind of side-eyed me or looked at it weird. When I was growing up, I didn't see any models of
Music bed.
printed word on the page in terms of Antiguan stories. And I didn't feel I had a lot of opportunities to try my own hand at writing. It wasn't really a nurturing environment. When I published my first book, The Boy from Willow Bend, I kind of felt like I wanted
Music
to start
bed.
doing things to create the enabling environment that I did not have.
Okay, I have a special, unexpected visitor for you guys. She's going to talk to you about not just being an author and some of her books, but a program that she has called Wadadli Pen.
I wanted this
Music bed.
challenge for the writing to be the point. So you're writing because you have something you want to get out. And the only sort of fence I put around it was that it be Caribbean stories.
There are a number of people who are now published authors who I want to say got their start. Maybe they've always
Music
been
bed.
writers, but without the opportunity that something like the Wadadli Pen Challenge provides, they may not have realized their talent. And of course, it's not just a challenge, but what Joanne has provided is an opportunity to improve your work.
So many of the books, so many of the stories, whether it's film, television, song, everything is coming from either America or England or Canada.
Music bed.
I wanted them to start to center themselves in their storytelling.
An award like this reminds people in Antigua and Barbuda, in St. Kitts Nevis, in Montserrat, that it doesn't really matter where you're from. It's about the time and dedication that you put into your craft and into what you believe in. She's then an inspiration to other
Music
people.
bed.
People who thought, well, no, I'm from a small island. I can only dream so big.
It means a lot to me as a Caribbean person to be recognized in a Caribbean space. And I guess my hope is that I find ways to live up to that
Music bed.
potential and to inspire others.
Music bed. Music bed. Music bed.